What's up guys, Matt back again with another unboxing video, and today we're going to be reviewing the Solid Edge Works Teen Gohan. Before we dive into the video, please remember to subscribe and hit the bell, like the video, comment your thoughts down below for us to discuss, follow me on my socials, and consider becoming a YouTube member to enter into our monthly giveaways and Discord server so our community can help you on your Dragon Ball figure collecting journey. This figure is based on Gohan from Dragon Ball Z BoJack Unbound. Gohan's figures seem based on the moment Gohan goes Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 against BoJack and his crew during the BoJack Unbound film. This is a Solid Edge Works release, which are museum-style Banpresto crane figures. If you're interested in buying this figure, then I recommend BashWin Collectibles, my favorite place to buy Kuji and collectibles. Link to their page in the description. I'm not sponsored by BashWin at the time of recording this video, I just really like their service and prices. These figures were released on June 20th, 2023. Both figures stand at just about 6.5 inches tall, weigh 11.2 ounces in box, weigh 5.6 ounces on their own, and both of them come with their upper body, lower body, and support. Alright, some of you who have been subscribers of this channel for quite a while might be thinking, Matt, I thought you already reviewed Solid Edge Works Gohan. But this is the BoJack version, the Goku Gi version. So it is kind of like me revisiting it, and honestly, I did not review the Super Saiyan 2 variant back when I did the original Solid Edge Works Gohan. So they are essentially the same exact figure. I will go and say that up front. So there are some slight differences. So honestly, it's basically me making up for not doing the Super Saiyan 2 variant. So you can also treat this as, you know, that review, because I'll say this up front. It just, both figures, whether it's the Cell Games version or this one, they are the same. So you're just going to pick whichever one you like better, whichever outfit you like better. So just take that into account going into this review. So now, let's talk about them. The character choice, like I just said, they had already done Teen Gohan, and they just did it again, and they just changed his gi, which is somewhat disappointing. Now, I like Gohan. I do like that it's him from the BoJack arc, so it is a look and outfit that we don't get very often. So I think that's pretty cool, but just to get it so soon in between like releases in Solid Edge Works, because this is volume 12 and they come out like really frequently, man. So this was like within a year of, I think, Solid Edge Works releasing him. So because I believe the original came out in 2022 and then this one came out a year later. So that is a little odd. So honestly, as a character choice, I'm going to have to give him a 3 out of 5. It's not bad. It's not great. I think what really saves that rating is the fact that it's a nod to the BoJack movie. So that's pretty cool. But again, it's essentially the same figure and coming out so soon. If they had changed it up a little bit or maybe used his base form somehow, I think that would have been a little more interesting. But it is what it is. The likeness. The likeness is okay. It's not terrible. It's not great. I wouldn't say it's as bad as like the Piccolo that I recently reviewed. I think his likeness fits his Super Saiyan variant more than his Super Saiyan 2 variant. And I think that has to do with how wide his face is. It's just, he has like a very wide head and face, so it looks somewhat off. Because his Super Saiyan hair frames his face a little bit better, it looks slightly better on him than the Super Saiyan 2, but they have the same face and kind of have the same issues. It's not terrible, but it's just kind of like in the middle. I do like the details, like the blood, and he's got good bolding around his eyes, but his face being so wide just makes him look somewhat off. Like, he doesn't look right. So I'm going to give his likeness a 3 out of 5, mostly because of his blocky, wide head. The sculpt quality is going to be a point of contention. I think it's a pretty good sculpt. I like the way that they did his hair on both of the sculpts. The walking forward thing kind of does fit the BoJack movie too, because he is walking forward towards BoJack. And I like the little damage on the body and everything, but it's basically the same gi from the Cell Saga with a couple of added features. He basically has an undershirt now and boots instead of like his Piccolo shoes. And it's just essentially reused from the original Solid Edge Works release. So that's kind of lazy. I think it is a creative way in order for us to do something like this. But again, it's the same forms. So all they did was just essentially paint the body a different color, which is kind of lame, man. So, and dude, that support on his foot is ugly. It's ugly and cheap. So he does stand like really well with the support, but obviously he can't stand without it. So I'm going to give his sculpt a 3 out of 5. The paint and shading. Now this Gohan does have some shading on him. There's zero shading on his gi, which looks very poor in contrast to the rest of the figure. But he does have shading on his arms. He has shading in his, that's it actually. He has shading on his arms, and that's about it, which is very strange. I wonder if that's because the original, and I don't remember, so forgive me. The original, if you have it in person, let me know. Don't tell me in the comments, oh, but the pictures have shading. Nope. If you have it in person, the original, let me know if it has shading. Anywhere else besides the arms. Because his hair doesn't have shading. His gi does not have shading. It's just his arms. So very strange choice, but you know, the colors are bright and colorful. Otherwise, pretty standard. I'm not going to give it any bonus points because it doesn't have shading anywhere else. So paint and shading is going to be a 4 out of 5 on this thing. And then size and scale, you know, just like most Solid Edge Works figures, he's not going to really scale well with other figures. He still comes off as like a little too big next to something like the Piccolo. And he's not going to really scale well with Ichiban Kuji figures, for example, because he still looks too puny. Like, the height is fine. 6.5 inches is the right height. But when you put him next to, like, you know, Dragon Ball Memories Goku for some reason, or maybe a more common figure like Perfect Cell from Omnibus Super, he's too small. Like, he's too scrawny. Like, Cell can hug Gohan. He's small, but he can still, like, hug Gohan, for example. Whereas, you know, this figure, he looks like he can grab Gohan in his hand. So he is a little bit too small. And it's just kind of middle of the round for me. But you are paying like a decent price for him. I think it's fair if you buy him at retail or just under retail. Or if you use my boys at BashWin, you'll probably get him for a really cheap price. Yeah, I'm gonna give his size and scale, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It's fine. It's not bad at all. It's not mid. You know, it's good. He's got a good size. Yeah. So yeah, Solid Edge Works. I think a lot of people really like Solid Edge Works, and honestly, I think it's you're a little too forgiving. So it's fine if you can get it at like $10. Then sure, buy a $10 figure. This is like a $10 to $20 figure to me. At $20 at the most, maybe if it's brand new. But yeah, there's no reason to pay much more than that. I think they're fine. They're a little lazy in my eyes, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna give this figure a 3 out of 5. But until the next video, guys, I will see you all later.